If you've got low back pain from a herniated or bulging L4, L5, or L5, S1 disc, and you're looking to use exercise in hopes of breaking the chronic pain loop that you seem to be on, this video is for you. I'm actually going to walk you through two of my favorite back and core exercises that I think are a great starting point if you're looking to build strength in this area. Now, if you're new here, my name is William. I teach people just like you how to overcome years of chronic low back pain naturally, without drugs or surgery or injections, by mastering their mindset, improving their movements, and building smarter strength. So if that's you, you've come to the right place. Navigating chronic pain after a diagnosis such as a bulging or herniated disc. I ruptured my L5 S1 disc and was diagnosed with degenerative discs above that site. That was 15 years ago. I was supposed to have surgery, I was supposed to have injections, but I opted out and I started to use movement to help heal my body over time. And what I want to share with you today are two of my favorite exercises that you can start with, specifically if you're trying to find ways to improve your movements, build smarter strength without causing more pain. Now, the first exercise I want to show you is what I call a warrior hinge. There's a few different variations to the warrior hinge that you can do. The key thing is making sure that you are managing your specific symptom profile. This means you have a very specific level of pain and a very specific tolerance to certain types of movement. So you have to respect that. Always err on the cautious side when it comes to applying exercise to a painful low back. The way I like to introduce the warrior hinge to people is to simply just practice the hinging motion. Now, I don't want you to go all the way down as if you're going to be deadlifting or trying to grab something off the ground. We're just going to simply groove the pattern of what the hinge should look like. So when doing the hinge portion of this exercise, you should be feeling it in your hips and hamstrings. You should not be feeling it in the low back. If you're feeling it in the low back, you have to adjust, you have to modify to make it fit you. The best thing you can do in the early stages of this exercise is just practice this movement. Work on being able to do it comfortably. Maybe first starting off in front of a mirror, shooting your own personal video with your phone, reviewing that video, making sure that your weight distribution looks good, your weight is evenly distributed over your feet, you feel balanced, you feel strong, you feel these muscles being engaged, and you don't feel like your low back is taking the load. Now, if symptoms allow, let's progress to the next level. What you're gonna do here is, while working on the hinging position and you're in the bottom of the hinge position where your butt is back, your weight is distributed over your hips, I want you to then bring your arms up overhead, almost like you're trying to create a Y with your body and your arms outstretched. What you're doing here is, while keeping the rib cage down, the abs are engaged, you're trying to bring some activation to the upper back. What this is simply doing is activating the entire posterior chain from the back of your head all the way down to your hips. Now, this is more of an endurance type of workout. We're not trying to crank out a bunch of reps. We're not trying to get a pump in the back at all. We're not trying to feel sore after this. We're just trying to activate the posterior chain, engage these muscles in the low back without causing further irritation. Now, for some, this might be very simple, but if you're in pain, the goal is not to see how much weight you can lift or how many reps and sets you can do. It's simply finding your entry level to activating these muscles without triggering your symptoms. The main goal, if you're having pain in the L4, L5, or L5, S1 disc area from some kind of diagnosis or injury, is you have to introduce things very slowly. And this is a very beginner level of muscle activation that can build endurance and stamina in the back without causing more damage. Now, if you're still experiencing pain even in the hinging position, you have to focus more on a pain relief strategy. Now, this is something that I do with people one-on-one in my Strength and Pain Relief Accelerator program. Before you can introduce more weight or more difficulty with your working out, you've got to make sure that you're on a good pain relief program. Without a strong pain relief focus first, you're just stacking on stress to a body or a system that is already in pain, trying to figure out what's going on, and it's not going to give you the opportunity to do more in the gym. In fact, it's probably going to cause you to eliminate a lot of exercises because now you're navigating more and more symptoms. Now, if you want to see a very simple routine that you can implement with a couple exercises that really focuses on pain relief in this area, introducing movement and building strength, I've got a free guide. You can go to fitnessforbackpain.com/routine, and I'm gonna break down very specific exercises that you can do in order, why you're doing them, and more importantly, the reps and sets that you should be doing to help calm this area down, build some mobility, build some strength and stamina in this low back area so that we can focus on controlling the symptoms before building a bunch of strength. It's a free guide. You can go to fitnessforbackpain.com/routine, and it's yours. Now, once you've mastered the warrior hinge, where your arms are coming above your head, you have a really good, strong, stable system, you're not experiencing a bunch of symptoms, you can probably add different variations of load or weight or resistance bands to this exercise, further increasing it, making it more and more difficult. The important thing is you don't want to jump too quick to the next difficult exercise. Sit with one exercise for a couple of weeks, master it, get very comfortable with it, practice it over and over and over, and really make sure that your confidence in your body and your ability to do this type of movement is there before you start adding in more weight. This second exercise focuses primarily on universal core strength and endurance. This is really, really important. I love to focus on core strength from an endurance perspective, from a stamina perspective, building tolerance in more of a neutral spine. I'm not saying that all bending and flexing and extending is dangerous or bad for people who have disc issues. It's just a good place to start that feels safe and doesn't compromise any kind of potentially triggering movements. It's called the single arm farmer's carry, and there's very simple instructions for this exercise. You're essentially just grabbing a weight and walking. Now, there's lots of ways we can break this down, make it easier, make it harder, but I want to go over some key principles that I want you to be thinking about when doing this specific exercise. The first thing is picking a weight that your body can manage, right? We're not trying to load the body too much. Yes, typically the farmer's carry is instructed or encouraged to go heavier because your body is fully capable of carrying heavy loads. But for you specifically, we're trying to find that unique tolerance that you are able to do without triggering your symptoms. Now, the setup is very simple. You're gonna stand nice and tall. I'm gonna grab the weight in one arm. Again, we're working both sides of the body, but we're gonna focus on one side at a time. Grab the weight in one arm, and I'm going to take the other arm that is not holding a weight. I'm gonna engage my lats, engage my fist and my forearms and my arm, creating a stability in both sides of the body. Now, from here, I'm just gonna walk for about 45 seconds. When I get back, I'll put the weight down, take a few breathers. I'm gonna swap the arm, so I'm having the weight in now the opposite arm. I'm gonna create the stiffness in the other arm that I just worked, and I'm gonna walk for another 45 seconds. Now, this is just me holding the weight down by my side. The next variation that you can try is a stacked farmer's carry variation. And simply what you're gonna do, grab your kettlebell, your dumbbell, your weight, whatever you're using, and you're gonna bring it up to where the weight is up at your chest. So it's kind of level with your shoulder, and you're gonna follow the same steps. You're gonna create stability on the opposite side. You're gonna walk for 45 seconds there and back. So it's a total of 45 seconds. Swap sides and do it all over again. While you're walking, you're maintaining a good upright posture. We're not trying to fold or bend or create some kind of over exhaustion where you're getting very, very tired. You cannot hold yourself upright. Your walk is very wobbly or uneven. We're trying to keep a weight that allows us to maintain a good neutral position. Now, the third variation of this is a little bit harder. It's overhead carry. So we're just focusing on one arm. You're creating stability in the opposite arm still, but in this case, you're gonna have the weight up and over your head. Now, there's a lot more things going on here. What you wanna make sure you're not doing is overextending in the low back. You wanna keep your ribs down, lock them in. You're gonna push that weight overhead, keep that shoulder blade nice and locked. What I like to do is think about bringing my shoulder blades or my scapulas down and forward. So I'm really trying to engage all the muscles in my shoulder joint area to create stability in this joint, then locking the ribs down and holding that weight overhead and walking for the same amount of time. Now, you might find that your shoulder fatigues or your upper body fatigues, your mid-back fatigues faster than anything else, and that's totally fine. Typically, when the stabilizers are being activated, it makes the exercise a lot more harder. So what you wanna do is just take your time, be patient with yourself, do this for about a week. You might have to dial back on your time of carry. Might be 35 seconds, 30 seconds, or lighter weight. But over time, you will be able to build up. The key thing here is not to try to go heavy, heavy, heavy. You want to focus on form. Can you execute this exercise with stability, with endurance, being able to breathe, being able to walk, being able to be balanced while you're carrying this load on one side of the body. Remember, the goal with these exercises is not to build strength over top of pain. Oftentimes people get confused when it comes to chronic low back pain from an L4, L5 or L5, S1 disc injury. They think, okay, I just gotta build strength in the area. I've got a herniated disc or a bulging disc. I have to build strength in my glutes and my back muscles and core muscles to push that disc back into where it should be. And it's just not the case. You need to understand building strength is not a around pain kind of thing. You want to focus on getting the pain relief first, making sure that the strength training or the exercises that you're applying to the body are not just creating more of a painful environment, but you're creating an environment where you can explore movement, you can explore exercise, not be fearful, not be guarded and protective, but showing yourself that you are still capable of doing more than you thought you could. Now, after doing these exercises, if you're still experiencing pain, if you feel like I've done core training, I've done glute exercises, I've done back exercises, I did that in PT, I've done all that stuff, and you're still in pain, you might need more of a pain relief focused approach. This is something that I can only do in more of a one-on-one setting because you are very unique to every other person watching this video. So if you feel stuck, if you feel like you're like, man, I've done this before, I'm not getting results, I need help, I need someone to really give me more of a pain relief first, and then work into strength, you can reach out to me. Go to fitnessforbackpain.com/apply. That'll give us an opportunity to see if what I do can actually help you. It'll be a very simple live conversation between you and I, where I dig in to see where you're at now, what you're trying to accomplish, and why in the world you're still in pain after you feel like you have tried everything in the past with no luck. If you want my help, you can go to fitnessforbackpain.com/apply and we'll chat then. Before you run off, be sure to go grab that free L4, L5 or L5, S1 disc pain relief routine. I'm gonna show you some movements that you can explore, experiment with to see if they can help you bring some relief to the low back while you continue to build strength using the exercises I showed you today. If you want that pain relief routine, you can go to fitnessforbackpain.com/routine. It's yours free. Go grab it. Thanks again for watching. God bless, and I'll see you on the next episode.